Let me go ahead and pause this. Okay. Today is November 24th, Friday, 2023. I wanted to make this video because of the movie we just watched today, Hunger Games, The Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes, I think, something like that. And it was a reminder as to why I prefer to watch anime over live action movies. As live action movies drum up a different part of your brain and get you thinking differently, in my opinion. Live action movies tend to remind me of how dark life can be as compared to anime. And even when there are dark times in anime, it doesn't feel as heavy as watching a live action movie where, it's real actors, real people, where you're just reminded of, how dark life can be and how real it is. Movies imitate life, life imitates movies. And premise of the movie is about President Snow. There's already been 3 movies out, or there may be 4, whatever. The premise is about President Snow, who in the first 3 movies, we know what he's like, but we don't know how he became who he is. And I wanted to explain to you further as to why I'm making these vlogs. It's because one day, I want you to understand how I became your father, how I became who I am. Whether that's in 10, 15, 20 years, and hopefully by the time you're watching this, you will have been grown enough, old enough to understand the seriousness of life. It may not always be super fun, but life is serious. And I think as children, we tend to forget that or not understand that, and that's okay as well. I hope when you watch this, you will have a better understanding of life in general. Life is fun. Life can be sad. Life can be serious. It can be threatening. It can be hopeful. It can be opportunistic. And I want you to know that you control your reaction to life. Life is going to happen to you. You can do everything you can to feel prepared for whatever challenges life may throw at you. But you will not always control the challenges that life throws at you. Your car may go out. You may get fired from your job for not performing. You may do something away from your job, away from your home, that's going to affect your home, affect your job, affect school, affect your relationship, affect the people around you. Understand that once those actions have happened, you control your reaction to the actions that have happened to you. I don't know what you children are going to be like. I hope that I will understand you as my children or child. But you may get to a certain point where you may not feel comfortable with me and our relationship. And I hope that, I have done a good enough job, and I want to be a great father to you, children. And I hope that I have done a good enough job that you feel comfortable coming to me to speak to me about whatever is going on. Because to be honest, I feel like the life that I've lived up to 24 years old is pretty different than most. There's been a lot of children who have been adopted, There's been a lot of children who have been adopted from Africa, and their experience is going to be different from mine. There's been children who've been adopted from Asia, South America, all the different continents. But their experience is not going to be like mine, and mine won't be like anybody else's. And because of that, I'm grateful to feel like I've learned quite a bit, and I'm going to continue gaining experiences as I get older, experiences that are going to be one of one to me. But through those experiences, I will have a perspective that may be useful to you one day. And when you get into your adolescence, your teenage years, your young adulthood, when you feel like you've become a full-grown adult, because I don't feel like I'm a full-grown adult, but I'm a man, a young man. I'm 24. I feel like I've lived a lot of life, but not enough, maybe, to understand everything that comes with life. Relationships, I had to have a conversation with my friend Joshua Beard's mother about, a relationship that was going on in my life a while back or whatever. I'm just making this video because after watching the movie, it just made me realize, President Snow, the main character of the movie, he's gone through a lot to get to the point he was at in the first 3 movies or 4 movies. You see an innocent young man with hopes and dreams and going through school, doing well in school, becoming the top of his class, thinking that the president job was his for the taking. But that all gets changed throughout the movie as circumstances happen, things come up, and he is put through trials that change President Snow, for the better or for worse, depending on your perspective and view of the character. I have gone through changes up until this point. I am still Joshua Martin, but I am not the same as a 21-year-old Joshua Martin. When you see this, you will know, and maybe I will have told you by the time you're born and old enough, but I sat in jail for 10 months. I sat in jail for 2 weeks prior to that. And I've probably spent about 11 months of my life in jail. And I hope that's the last time that ever happens. So there was Joshua Martin before he went to jail, and there's Joshua Martin after coming out of jail. My thinking is not the same. My perspective on life is not the same, as I have changed the way I look at my life. I don't feel like I'm as reckless as I used to be. And I wasn't a reckless child, but I had a lot of reckless decisions that affected me, that led to me sitting in jail for 10 plus months. And I'm wearing a lot of black now, which, you would think, well, what the hell does that matter? But I used to wear a lot of colorful clothes, a lot of bright clothes. And at the time, I loved that. I still wear some colorful clothes from time to time. Today, I wore a very colorful jacket, And for me, I speak a lot through my clothes. I used to feel like I was a very bright, outgoing human who just wanted to express himself through clothing, which said, bam, I am here, right? So I wore a lot of striped t-shirts, which was my signature. Now I wear a lot of black and grays, and that's to signify kind of where I'm at in my life. Right now I want to make my vlogs and be just low-key. That's the term we use now. I don't know what term you'll be using when you were born and a teenager. And it's not that, I'm not as happy. I'm very happy now. I'm more, clear-minded now. One, I'm not on psilocybin, and I'm not constantly abusing drugs. I'm not abusing drugs. I'm not using anything. So, that changes you, And I just wanted to talk about the fact that by the time you're born, I don't know the type of man I will be because I'm constantly evolving. And that's why I started making these vlogs and these daily reflections as a way to track and record my progress and changes that happen to me. I want you to understand that change is okay. Change is natural. Change is evolution. Life does not slow down for anybody. Life does not speed up for anybody. Life goes at its pace, and you recognize it and you get with the times, or you just understand the consequences of, staying put, maybe changing. There's consequences to everything. There's reactions to action. And I'm really just focusing on making myself the best young man I can be right now, so that when you are born, I feel like I am prepared for you. I had a conversation, a FaceTime call with my biological mother, Mercy, and my biological sister, Patience, earlier today. And my biological mother basically reminded me that we lived in a wooden house, a blue wooden house, that, when it was raining, rain would fall through the house. And my biological father didn't have money to send to my biological mother, and it was just the two of us. And my mother explained to me that I have a temper unlike her. She doesn't get angry very much. She's a very patient woman. It's probably why my biological sister's name is Patience, where I have my biological father's temper. And I am working on that so that, I can be a better man, a better son, a better sibling, a better spouse, a better husband, father. I almost cried on the phone because I was just reminded of where I came from in a good way, and the fact that, I come to America and I start acting like a brat. Maybe not right away, but, over time, somebody might say your actions were actions of a brat. You're not grateful enough for considering where you come from. You should be more grateful. And I feel like I am a very grateful young man. And there are times where I feel like I exercise a lot of patience with the world. And then there are times where I feel like I don't exercise enough patience with myself. And that's why I'm currently in therapy. I have committed myself to a full calendar year of therapy so that I can get better at my reactions to life. Life is going to happen to everybody. You just control your actions. I want you to know that your father is going to do everything in his power to give you the best life possible, to give you everything life can give you and more. I may not always be my best on certain days, but I hope that I make you proud, and I hope that my actions teach you to be kind, to be patient, to love deeply, to love intensely. I love intensely, and sometimes the way I try to show love may not come across the way it's intended in my mind. And so I just want you to understand that everything is going to be okay. I hope one day you document your lives so that you can watch your own evolution. I'm going to document your childhood, your adolescence, your teenage years, your young adulthoods. Whenever you're with me, I'm going to document all of that. I'm telling you that now, so that our family history, starting from 24 years old of your father's life, is documented until it's passed on. And maybe you may not feel comfortable doing that, but I want you to know that your father's doing this so that your lives can be looked upon through further generations and see the evolution of our DNA and our family. I love all of you. I am grateful that one day you will get to watch this video, even if it's 2 minutes. I just am driven to have children because in America, there are times where I've craved blood ties and I don't have any blood ties here. All of my blood connections are in Africa. I have not gone back yet, but I plan to go. 2025 winter is my set goal. One, I want to miss some of the winter here. I love winter, but I love the sun more. And so I hope that I make you proud as a father one day. That is my main goal. I wanted to make a lot of money, growing up, and I've always felt like I was going to make a lot of money, so I've never really tried to worry about that. For me, it's always been worrying about how do I be the best example for my own children. That's always been my main priority and worry. And I'm trying to worry less and less about that because I know I'm going to be a great father. Like my mother said, my biological mother, she said, you have your father's temper. How are you working on your temper? When you control your temper, life is a lot easier. Maybe not, she didn't say that verbatim, but that's basically what she was saying. When you control your temper, she believes in God. I'm not sure where I stand on that right now. But she was saying God will bless you when you control your temper. Because when you control your temper, you are able to control your life, which is something that I want to get good at, is controlling my temper, controlling my emotions, controlling my reactions to life. And so I wanted to leave you with that for this daily reflection. Learn to control your temper. As you learn to control your temper, which is your emotion, you will learn to control the rest of your life. And this is something that I am going to continue working on even when you are born, because we are human. And to think that I'm going to have it down and controlled and patented by the time you're born is kind of crazy. But I hope that I have gotten really good to excellent at controlling my temper so that I can be a good example to you. I love you, children, and I am so happy that one day I will get to bring you into this world. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for being beautiful. Thank you for being a part of me and my life. And thank you for being the biggest dreamers that will be gracing this planet. I love you all, and have a great night. Today is November 24th, Friday, 8/20, 2023. Bye.